area. One thing about Street Widows is that we serve women who have experienced partner loss to any type of traumatic or unjust cause. Her husband or her fiance was lost in the Gibbon plant explosion, but she lives in the Oklahoma area, and she identified with us because it was an unjust cause of the loss of his life. And so she came to the foundation, and we have been serving her and all three of her children since. So even if it's not particularly youth involved, we know that parent engagement supports youth directly. And I just wanted to speak that one of my favorite participants, lives in your area. And like, as you said earlier, we have to start with the head of the family, the parents, and not only the moms, the fathers as well, try to get them more involved, because I see that that's a huge trend. Most of these kids lack fathers in the home, so that's our goal too, is to bring them, in the picture more.
Okay, we have, Councilwoman Shamika Press Wright has a question.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've been patiently waiting, excited. I'm in DC for work, but I definitely would be there with you all. But I just want to say it was so good to see Norman Parker and Demetrius McDowell. I know the work that you all been doing, and this is such a well-rounded presentation.
It would happen when she said that.
Am I back on? I'm sorry, it cut me off again. You all don't know the stuff I go through to try to get connected. But I just want to say that it's so well-rounded from the working with the parents. I wanted to know, I might have missed it from the beginning. I know you're working with different groups. I know CAVE is doing some amazing work, Parents Against Violence, and I just want to say the way you connected the dots with all of that really works. I am a two-time gun violence survivor. I actually come from the streets and grew in my education and social justice, but it was programs like this and opportunities like this that saved my life, that saved my family life. And I know a lot of times young women are connected to violence, whether young men are protecting them or showing up or being proud. And so it's important to have programming that is speaking to the young women who might not know that they're the reason why violence is perpetuated, as well as the young men. And so I hope that, I can tell right now that you're being very inclusive, that you're including that. And then the faith community as well. A lot of faith communities are dealing with this in different ways. And again, some people may not enter it from a point of faith, but there is connections to faith and spirituality and how people process and how they survive and how they thrive. And I'm looking at that audience and I see a bunch of survivors. I think we need more, and I want to see this work all over Jefferson County and how we as council people can support you. Because yes, the focus is on our young Black males that are in the certain zip codes, but this balance with youth, even with our immigrant youth, is happening all over the county. It isn't just isolated to there, but ours is disproportionately represented. And so while people are focusing on opening up a new juvenile jail, we know that that is a temporary thing. People will recidivate. That is a temporary thing as they navigate the judicial process. What solves violence is if those people are connected to ongoing support, care, education, and communities that helps them rise above it. So I'm very impressed to see all of you. You have my support. I just want to make sure the arms are connected to the faith and other groups like CAVE and other folks who are doing smaller work but need to be connected to what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Then if I could, just to touch on the faith aspect of it all, right? Like, there's so many lives that's been lost in these communities, right? To where faith is gonna be a big part of it, because a lot of what we're seeing is retaliatory violence. And so you have to go in and really get deep and start, the top is gonna come up about forgiving death. So you're gonna have to go in and, forgive the loss of a loved one, a brother, a sister, a parent, just to move past the violence. And so just touching on that, and I speak on it because I've dealt with it and come from it. And it's a hard pill to swallow, but when you talk about leading the community forward and leading your people forward, you know, you pull back from some of the things that you would wanna do, and you start looking at it as a whole and how it be detrimental to the community, your family, and the loss of the loved ones. And so the faith aspect of it is gonna be a big part, and we look forward to taking on that challenge as well.
And I'd like to piggyback off of that. Thank you for mentioning PAVE. PAVE is one of our partners. Our chair of the, or co-chair of the parenting committee is a employee of PAVE. They do amazing work. When we established the parenting committee and who we would collaborate to reach our parents, PAVE was known to defer to Levon Morris because he could speak more to what you just brought up as well.
Hey, how you doing?
Can you state your name, please?
Yes, ma'am. I'm Levon Morris, the president of Hope by Hope. And I just kind of want to speak on behalf of kind of like what you all was talking about. So, Moore High School and Newburgh are actually two of the schools that we're actually doing in-school programming right now. And actually, to your point, about 3-4 years ago when COVID hit, we had to figure out how to mobilize our programming. And so pretty much wherever we see the need or someone was calling saying they needed us to come do help with the work or kind of come to mentor their youth, we was coming. So we mobilized our programming just to actually come fit for people like you where you know, we have an email or contact information where you can reach out and we'll come. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever it is you need to come do, whether it's run small groups, whether it's just a mediation, whether it's just a one-on-one, just a quick mentoring session. We offer those 24/7. Like our phone don't stop ringing. Like if there's somebody calling 2 or 3 in the morning, we getting up trying to figure out how we can make situations happen. We might call whatever relationships we do have. Maybe sometimes someone's calling Councilwoman Hawkins all the time to try to say, hey, something's going on. And so it be us. It's not her. It's the people calling her to try to get her to get out and do what she needs to do to get a voice for us. And lastly, as far as when it comes to just kind of what you were saying, Ms. Shanklin, like we worked in Newburgh over the last 2 years between PAVE and actually Hope by Hope. We actually have a whole impact report where we work with over 1,000 kids, 127 parents, and over 14 zip codes. And actually we work, it's an actually simultaneous program where youth and parents are connected. So we have youth programming, we have parent programming. And actually those 8 neighborhoods that Mr. Deshandra mentioned earlier, we've actually piloted their program in 5 of those communities, and Newburgh is one of them.
Okay, I wanna go ahead and I got 2 people on my queue that wants to ask you all questions. Councilwoman Purvis, and then we'll have Councilman Ken Hurd.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just want to know, you don't ever get an opportunity to go to Breckenridge Metro and Manor Daniels?
Yes, ma'am. It's crazy. Today, we actually had a privilege with one of our partners, Mr. Charles. He actually works with Power Inc. And they actually had a partnership with OVP, Power Inc., U of L, and Manor Daniels. And so I actually got to meet Ms. Baxter today, the principal of Manor Daniels. She had there was more students there, but they kind of had to all go back to school, but it was a mural. They had a project over a mural, over trauma informed and stuff like that. And so we actually have a direct partnership with them through Power Inc. And with Mr. Huber at Breckenridge, I actually got 3 of his kids on my caseload now. And so we're actually waiting on the process to get into Breckenridge right now. There's a lot of changes with how the stuff navigates with JCPS to be able to be a vendor. And so we're waiting on the process to go through to be an actual vendor. Some of the ones we want. Like Dawes High School, Iroquois High School, like those schools that traditionally the last couple of years have had a lot of these students that's either in and out the system, or just really don't care about school or whatever. Like those are the ones we want. Like we don't really.
Can I speak with you after?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ken Hurd.
Thank you. Very briefly, just want to thank, it's been my pleasure, my honor to co-host these community conversations with Councilwoman Hawkins. And thank you for coming tonight, and thank you for coming to those. You clearly love your community, we do too, and we look forward to working with you in whatever way we can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Real fast, we offer community-based services in those schools. So the problem right now with the MOA services and JCPS, they're not allowing the case managers to come into the school. So if we can change that, we can have more wraparound services, because right now they're only allowing
mental health providers, such as a therapist that enter the schools, but we need more people, the mentors, the case managers, the CSAs to be able to come in those schools. So, that's it.
No other questions? All right, thank you all for coming in. Really appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Clerk, can you, read item 2 into the record, please?
A resolution calling on the Kentucky General Assembly to create Kids Over Guns common sense gun legislation in the jurisdiction and territory of Louisville Jefferson County Metro Government and in full.
Do I hear a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
The item has been properly moved by committee member Donna Purvis, and second by, Ken Herndon. I believe the sponsor of this is Councilman Herndon. You wanna speak to this? You got the floor.
Okay, very briefly, I know we got other items on the agenda and we've got limited time. I will read a brief statement and then move on. A while back, as we were discussing Councilwoman Shankland's resolution that asked parents and guardians to take better care of their children, I asked myself, if we are asking them to do this, why are we not asking ourselves as elected officials to do the same? And I began to make notes that night that led to this resolution. There is no single easy answer to address gun violence and no part of our community that is immune. District 4 has recently had more than its share. But every child in every school in every district suffers the incalculable cumulative effects of active shooter drills, and their parents know it. We owe their children, who actually are our children, every effort we can muster with every tool at our disposal to address this problem. One tool that was taken away from us in 2012 by our state legislature was the ability for any Kentucky city to pass any local common sense gun laws of any kind. My resolution is a good faith effort to address this by asking Frankfurt for a carve-out to allow Jefferson County only the ability to do so, and not because Louisvillians are more violent than other Kentuckians. We are by far the state's largest city, and like all large cities, our size and density exacerbates human frailties. A family of 10 is much more likely to experience conflict than a family of 3. It's a natural human condition that has been successfully addressed in other cities and other states across our country. The First National Bank shooter, for example, left his roommate a note that unfortunately the roommate found too late. But with that note, the shooter exhibited some trepidation. Had there been a simple waiting period, currently not allowed by state law, those 5 people might still be alive, and that police officer who courageously charged the building that day may not have been gravely wounded. Surely we can agree on a few simple measures that better protect us all, especially our children. But the legislature has to allow us that opportunity. They have passed Jefferson County specific legislation before, and they can do it again, this time to our benefit and to the benefit of our children. At the end of the day, for me, the choice is clear. It's kids or guns, and I choose kids, and I hope you will as well. And I look forward to conversations. I've had many thoughtful conversations with thoughtful, serious colleagues before, 2 today as well. I look forward to continuing those conversations in the next 8 days before we have a full-blown discussion and debate on this issue on the 16th. Thank you so much.
Right, do anybody in the queue? Because I can refer to my colleague, Councilwoman Jane Morton.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you, Councilman Herndon, for bringing this forward. I choose kids as well. I definitely agree with that. I can say that the conversations we've had right on this measure, there are a few things in here that I just can't agree upon, and it kind of caused me some angst. And again, we've had those conversations. I can say Section 1, asking the General Assembly with urgency to address common sense gun legislation. I would like to work with them on that. I would like to ask them what they think of some of these and have the conversations before putting it forward, not knowing how it ever come across. The Section 2 in regard to segregating us, that concerns me, of just tailoring out a section of Louisville Metro and making us the unique, are we unique? Yes, in many ways, but creating separation and standard for local jurisdiction is concerning. Second, for Section 3, the reallocation of the funds. So what we do right now with with the fact of the removing the prohibition concerning disposition of firearms, not only the disposition of those, but what happens with the selling of those. So what some may not be aware of, when those guns are sold, they are sold in a bulk, but the funds of those, actually, some of those funds go to the Attorney General, and what those funds do is to help support things such as bulletproof vests, shields, and other protective gear, for departments like Chasetown, our airport police, our sheriff's department, Middletown. But redirecting those could compromise our officer safety, as well as operational readiness. So I have those concerns. We can continue those conversations. I'm fine with that. Again, section 1, totally fine with, but would want to continue those conversations with yourself as well as with some of the people in legislation.
I look forward to it.
Madam Chair, I tried to be in the queue. I don't know if you see it.
No, ma'am, I don't, but you got the floor.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. I think that this is a good faith effort on. I promise I'm believing in conspiracy theories, but I have 5 bars on 5G and it always hangs up. But anyway, I think that this is a good faith effort on Councilman Herndon.
All right, so I don't see any more speakers in the queue.
I'm just saying. Okay, am I back?
Come on, Ms. Birthright.
Terrible. Thank you.
All right.
I support this because I know that Councilman Herndon is trying to do what he can. This is a resolution. It is important to urge our state government to do right by our county, which is the economic generator for the state. And we need to be informing state legislators and lawmakers of what works here, what we need, the changes we need. So this is a step in that direction to do that. It doesn't change any safety for police officers. It doesn't dismantle or take anything away from their discretion or for them having the tools and all the things that they need. This is about making sure that we are doing our part as local legislators to bring this issue and make it a priority for our state legislators. I don't see any reason why this should not come out of committee with the work that's been done. And I've seen similar or other legislation that hasn't been held up for those reasons. That we can work it out, we will work it out. We have to work with the state government to get these things done. So this is nothing that should preempt them or stop them from doing their work. So I want to fully support this and ask that we get this out of committee. And if there's any other challenges or changes, we work on that before it becomes,
All right, so I don't see anyone else in the queue, right? Okay, so, hearing none, this is a resolution calling for a voice vote. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, hearing none, the item passes and will be moved to the consent calendar. Clerk, can you read item 3 into the record, please?
An ordinance amending Louisville Metro Code of Ordinances, Chapter 91, requiring microchipping of dogs and cats, read into law.
All right, do I hear a motion and a second?
Motion.
All right, the item has been properly moved by committee member, Betsy Roy, and the committee member, who was that? Shankman, okay, Barbara Shankman. I believe that the following individuals are here to speak to the item. That would be Director Clinton, Louisville Metro Animal.
Hey, Chair, could I just tee it up for Director McClinton, since Councilwoman,
Sure, I'll refer to you.
sponsored?
Adam Hamilton, Louisville Metro.
Just me, just that.
Okay. You wanna stand up?
Sure.
All right. State your name for the record.
It's Andrew McClendon, I'm the Director of Metro Animal Services.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna refer to, my councilman, Andrew Owens. You have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. So we talked about this at the last meeting, and I just want to remind people of a couple things. Like I said previously, this is not something that came from Metro Council and we're trying to dictate down to the people. It kind of rose up out of primarily the animal welfare community. They reached out to us and said, what can we do to try to help LMAS with their situation that's primarily overcrowding of the shelters and therefore resulting in euthanasia of otherwise adoptable and healthy animals, which is just very difficult for a lot of people, including me, to get our arms around. So that's where this started, and we've been working on this for over a year. Councilwoman Purvis is a sponsor as well. And we've been working very closely with Director McClinton because we want to make sure that we didn't do anything that LMAS wasn't capable of implementing and enforcing. And so we've been working very closely with Director McClinton and Adam before that, when he was the interim, to make sure that we did that. But before I turn it over to Director McClinton, he's just kind of going to speak to that and talk about how this will work and how they'll be able to implement and enforce. I do want to just go back quickly and say the whereas clauses in this ordinance really do describe what we're trying to accomplish here. And I'll just read a couple of them. One, whereas jurisdictions that have implemented mandatory microchipping have seen measurable improvements in return to owner rates, reductions in shelter intake, and decreased euthanasia rates, that right there is a big thing that we're trying to address. So anyone who is an animal lover and cares about animal welfare should be in support of this ordinance. The other side of this is anyone who worries about stray dogs and cats wandering your neighborhood and creating an issue with people or spreading fear or that sort of thing should also be in favor of this ordinance, because this helps reduce the number of animals on the street and get more animals back to their rightful owners, in addition to reducing the number of animals in the shelter. So those are really what we're trying to accomplish here. I've talked to a lot of you between the last meeting and now, and what I heard back from people, the only concerns that I heard back from people were what I mentioned before about implementation and what exactly this will do to help you guys and that sort of thing. So if you can talk about that and address those things for us, Director McClinton, that would be very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, I think probably, I believe it was Councilman Joseph that last time I was here asked about some stats, and I think this will kind of tell them, I'll go through this quickly and give you a brief overview of kind of the process. There's a few questions I was asked, so I'll start with those and then give you a quick process.
If I can intervene, because we're short on time,
Yes.
does anybody have any questions? Okay, so, Councilwoman Blas, and then Councilwoman Maury Ward, before you do that, because the questions are most important, it depends on the vote.
I kind of talked a little bit, just real quick, I just wanted to make sure in this, how is this gonna affect, and will the community cat ordinance fall under this? Like how cats are allowed to run free, they're allowed to have their community, a lot of feral cats come out of that. So how are we going to intertwine that into solving the problem there also?
That really didn't come up in our discussions as far as the community cats, because there's already an ordinance that addresses and deals with those. But this is more if they're owned, that this would be for an owned pet, and that was where the mandatory microchipping would be, is for an owned. But I'd be glad to look into it.
Well, that was kind of my problem, like, we're splitting hairs, because community cats are allowed to just roam free and wild and have their own homes, and, you know, feral cats cause a lot of issues in the community. And if we're going to penalize a homeowner over their cat or dog, then we need to look at that ordinance as well, as far as the cats being able to roam free. Thank you.
Thank you. My question is, so what is the cost of the shipping to the community and who does it?
Okay, so that is obviously a very important part. So Adam was able to come up with kind of this, trust me, this is just an estimate based off Adam's formula, and just looking at some other data. So we estimate that you're looking at roughly the first year, about 25,000 pets, that's dogs and cats. And our cost for a microchip is $10. So obviously that's $250,000. We don't have that I don't have my budget, but just the ways I think that this plays out or we work with it is, I think you have to treat it kind of like the rabies vaccination. That law was passed, I don't know how long ago, and pet owners, you know, when they register, get their license, they have to show proof of the vaccination, rabies vaccination. I think ideally, pet owners would go to their vet that they use, get their rabies, and then they would get the microchip inserted. Obviously, you're gonna have sections, you have people that cannot afford, so you have to have options for, you know, people that can't afford the chip. So I would look at 4 or 5 different things to help offset, you know, the cost for low income. We already do a lot of these things, but we have to expand that. And I'll be glad to go into more detail, but we already do rabies clinics with council. You have to expand those. It would have to be, in my opinion, it would have to be about a year, 6 months to a year grace period, where you've got to allow people. I can't have 20,000 people come to the animal shelter. I don't have it can't do it. So you're gonna have to spread it out over 6 to 12 months, I would say a year. And then we would set up a designated day once a month where we would offer the microchips at the $10, so people could come in. And then we do microchip clinics, we do rabies clinics where microchipping is done for free. We do that with you all throughout all the areas. A big part of this, you would have to go, we know 5 or 6 of the zip codes where we get the highest amount of strays, where we take in the most strays. This is where I would need council, I would need community partners. We would have to go into those communities and set up clinics in those communities and offer them at $10, or we could get sponsors to offer it for free. But that would be a big part as well, as actually going mobile, going into the communities. And that's why I think you have to give people a year grace period to try to get caught up.
Okay, Councilwoman Parker?
I have one more question, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so as we think of the licensing fees, is licensing now gonna get longevity or lifetime? How do we make up for those fees? We're not gonna have costs now at $250,000, how you just talked about, and so that's where we maybe can offset the fees in the future or past.
So, I encourage everyone to get the lifetime fee, because I think the $25 it's a great incentive, it's a great deal. The more people that we get to get signed up, to get registered, to get licensed, I think that will increase our revenue, obviously, as well, more people getting signed up. There will be an offset because of the $25 fee. Obviously, that'll help us on the front end, but 3 to 5 years from now, yeah, that is going to affect the budget some. They'll still have to do the rabies vaccinations, they'll still have to get that done and show proof of that. But the whole goal would be to get more people registered, to get more people licensed, and that kind of goes along with the DocuPet. But no, it would affect it, but we're hoping the $25 initial fee will, will help. You'll have a lot of people, hopefully not a lot, you're gonna have people that don't want to do it because of the spending or for other reasons. So I still think we'll have the unaltered license fee went up as a way to hopefully offset that as well.
All right, Councilwoman Parker?
Yes, thank you. First of all, I would just like to say that, my office, in conjunction with some other offices, we do these low-cost, vaccine clinics about 3 times a year. I'd like to do more if we could get it done, but, and it's very low cost, and so I'm envisioning people not going just to get a microchip, but if they have a reason to go and get, rabies and distemper for $10 or $20, then they're not gonna mind doing the microchip. So anyway, one question is, the high-risk zip codes, are those council people doing these low-cost vaccine clinics?
Yes.
Those are the ones that really need to do it.
Yes, I don't have the exact list, but yes, we are in those communities.
Okay, And then, statistically, you said that it does reduce intake. Do you know what the percentage of that is in other cities that the reduction of intake has been, if they've mandated microchipping?
I can't speak for the other, I can just kind of tell you what our numbers are, very quickly, that's kind of.
Council, you can send them to them.
Okay. It reduces it a substantial amount.
Okay, and then one other question, how will all the veterinarians, in the city, they need to be made aware that it's mandatory? So are you gonna send
Yes.
a letter to them?
Yes, we have email tree, letters, we're in contact with them, so yes, they will all get updated.
Alright, Councilman David.
Yes, sir, I know you to be a good man, a good leader with good data. Can you give me a couple of the data points that you think are relevant for this?
Yes, I'll just give you 2024. So you asked what is the percentage of dogs that are not microchipped who make their way back home? So we had 5,857 strays come in without microchips. 769 went back to their owner, that's 13%. We had 964 strays come in with chips. 469 left with their owners, that's 49%. So if they're microchipped and the microchip is updated, it's a massive jump.
Okay, I have a quick question. So who's policing this? Cause it's hard for us to police people. I'm just concerned how we're gonna police animals.
Well, it's kind of the same way we do with rabies vaccinations, that people are licensed. So if one of my officers is sent on a vicious dog or a stray dog, and they come in contact with the owner, then they will look and see if they're licensed, if they have rabies. Now they look and see if they're microchipped.
I'm gonna refer to, last question, and that is Dr. Shanklin.
Thank you. Well, we all know that Metro government is known for writing ordinances and resolutions that can't be enforced. And I don't wanna see this be another one that was written that you can't enforce them. They have dogs running the streets now, you don't have enough officers. All the time I'll see dogs and we call in, nobody picks them up, they still on the street. Is this to make more money, or is this to actually be some kind of like action where somebody's going to be picking up these dogs? Because the way I understand it, y'all don't have enough help now. And I see the trucks sometimes, but there's dogs, there's pit bulls, and we've been dog ordinances. This is the third time we've had a dog ordinance, and none of them have been enforceable. So I just don't wanna see another dog ordinance that's not enforceable, but just to make money. And so, and as you spoke about the money and how much you can make and all of that, I wanna see some action. And if there ain't no action, we don't need to keep bringing these dog ordinances up. I've been here 20 years, and in 20 years, there's been 3 different ordinances on dogs, and none of them have been enforced.
But we will be able to enforce it, and the reason I wanted to do this, and this started well before me, is I have to free up staff, and I have to free up my officers, I have to free up, the bottom line is, we're gonna go over 10,000 this year in intake. That is gonna be a record. A good way to do that, to lessen the intake, that's my main goal. The money part is the money part, but I need to lessen the amount of animals in that shelter. And the microchipping, mandatory microchipping will do that.
All right.
The enforcement part is what I said earlier. If we respond and they're not microchipped, then we'll have X amount of time to get in compliance, they get cited, and they go before the court.
I will support this.
Thank you.
But I would like to see some action.
I agree.
And I'm gonna check to see if there's action being done. Thank you.
All right, I don't see anyone else in the queue. Hearing none, this is the ordinance calling for a roll call vote. Clerk, will you please open the voting?
Councilwoman Pierce Wright?
Yes.
Clerk?
Councilwoman Shanklin?
Yes.
Vice Chair Hawkins, you have 7 yes votes.
All right, hearing none, this item is passed and will be moved to the old business.
Vice Chair Hawkins, point of order. Can I,
Oh, okay. It'll be going to consent, sorry.
I'd like to say, if I can record my vote as president for action item number 2.
Senator Harvey Clerk, he's asking the item to be reconsidered so that we can do a roll call vote.
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay, Amy, will you?
A resolution calling on Kentucky General Assembly to create Kids Over Guns common sense gun legislation in the jurisdiction and territory of Louisville, Jefferson County Metro Government, Ravenford.
Hold on 1 second. Can you please explain this real quick, because I have the sponsor wanting to know why we're doing this.
So we're going to do just a few votes. First of all, we're going to do a vote to reconsider the item, just so that, I know that Councilwoman Mobley Woodward, she said, no, we didn't hear her, but clerk's heard her.
Yeah.
And he wants to vote present, and to be able to record that, we need to be roll call rather than a voice vote.
Okay.
So,
All right.
so the first vote we're going to take is, will we reconsider it? So if you'll ask for a vote for that.
All right.
Voice vote.
Can I have a voice vote to reconsider? A motion? Okay. All right. Can I hear a voice vote? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. Okay. Right, at this point.
Councilwoman Pierce Wright.
What is this part for? Is this the reconsideration
Yes,
or to
yes,
vote?
yes, ma'am.
So
This is the
is
vote, this
yes
is
to-
a yes vote, yes or no vote to pass the legislation regarding the guns and kids.
Thank you for that, yes.
Councilwoman Shanklin.
For the gun. We good?
Vice Chair Hawkins, you have 5 yes votes, 1 no vote, and 1 absent vote.
All right, item passes, and we move to the consent calendar. Old business. All right, the last one. Clerk, will you please read item 4 into the record, please? All right, Councilwoman, Chample, Vice Chair, can you please just give us a few more minutes, we're running over? Thank you. All right, clerk, can you please read item 4 into the record, please?
An ordinance creating a new section of chapter 36 of the Louisville Metro Code of Ordinances to establish the Louisville Parks Police, read in full.
All right, do I hear a motion in a second? All right, item has been properly moved by committee member Betsy Lewis, second by Councilman JJ. This item is before us. I believe the following individuals are here to speak to this today. Will you introduce yourself, and you have the floor. State your name for the record and your position.
Yes, ma'am, Bridget Fraley, I'm executive administrator of Park Safety.
James Brown, Chief Park Ranger, Louisville Parks and Recreation.
All right. Anybody have any questions? Hey, no questions. All right, I don't see any speakers in the queue, hearing none. This is an ordinance calling for a roll call vote.
Committee member Pierce Wright.
Present.
Vice Chair Hawkins, you have 6 yes votes and 1 present vote.
All right, the item will be passed and moved to old business. Hearing none, our next regular, scheduled public safety meeting will be held Friday, October the 22nd, 2025 at 4 p.m. Thank you all for your time today. Sorry about that part.
Healthy Business Connect Us empowers families to thrive through holistic well-being, early child development, and accessible health care.
We are committed to fostering connections, knowledge sharing, and support networks that enhance the physical, mental, and emotional health of children, parents, and caregivers.
By building bridges between healthcare providers, social services organizations, educators, and families.
We aspire to create a world where every child experiences a healthy and nurturing start.
Setting the foundation for a brighter future.
If you do nothing else.
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 If you do nothing